the next demonstration I'd like to do for you is knurling. Now knurling is a forming process. It doesn't really remove any material. Knurling is going to use a tool like this that has special rollers on it. These rollers will actually press into the material and make a diamond pattern on the material. On this tool we have three choices. We have coarse, medium, and fine. For today's demonstration, I'm going to use the coarse knurls. Now the coarse knurls, what they're talking about with fine, medium, and coarse is the distance between the teeth on this roller. So the coarse roller has the teeth further apart. The medium roller, the teeth are a little bit closer together. And fine, the teeth are really close together. So depending on the type of part you're making, or what the blueprint specifications are, determines your coarseness of your knurl. So for today, we're just going to do the coarsest knurl. So this is a quick change tool post, which is nice because this knurling tool is already in a tool holder. So I can remove my cutting tool and put my knurling tool right on there. Make sure your dovetail is clean. Lock your tool down. Knurling rollers have to be centered on the material. Just like every other tool we put in the lathe, we have to check the center height. Now this one here, I will not be able to use my ruler. I'll just have to visually line it up. As you bring it close, you can feel underneath which roller touches first. The way I have it set right now, the bottom roller is touching and the top roller is quite a ways away yet. So that means I have to lower my tool. So if we turn these nuts, and you have to unclamp and reclamp your tool holder. And it still looks like I'm too high. So just feel both rollers as you approach the part, and they should contact the part at the same time. And right there I'm set up pretty good. The next thing you want to watch out for is that you have this at about a 3-degree angle. So you need to loosen up your tool, turn it at about 3 degrees. Now this is just visual. I'm just looking at the side of the tool and I can see that it's about 3 degrees off square. So now bring your knurling tool up to your part, and right where it touches the part, we're going to call that 0. For knurling, you want to use a slow feed rate. We're going to power feed the knurling tool to use a slow feed rate. We're going to use a feed rate of about 4 thousandths a revolution. So remember, that will be for the carriage. So we have to use this chart here. We're going to go down to about 4 thousandths. This machine has 0.0039. So that's CT MF10. So CT MF and 10. Now because knurling is a forming process, you have to go about half of the speed you did when you were turning. So if we were going 170, half of that, the closest thing we have is 75. So we're going 75 RPM on the 1 3/4 diameter at 4 thousandths feed. So now at this point you want to start your machine, make sure you have lots of oil on your part. So before you even start the machine, go ahead and oil it up. A lot of students make the mistake of oiling it while it's running, and these brushes will get caught in that roller. So make sure you oil it before you start. Now for knurling, it is a forming process and it does not cut. I'm going to start the machine. While it's rotating, I'm going to hand feed this in to about -40 thousandths on my readout. So once you have it at -0.04, engage your power feed, and your carriage will slowly feed towards the chuck. Now while it is slowly feeding and it's pushing in up against the material, it's forming that diamond pattern on the outside. If you feel it's necessary to add oil while it's running, just use the brush from above and let it drip. You don't want to touch the brush against the part right now, because that knurling will pull the brush in. Knurling takes a little bit of time, so I'm just going to go a short distance and show you what it looks like. Once you get to the end of your knurl, you stop your power feed, back away on your X hand wheel, and turn off your machine. And then you can see how your knurls look. So with that knurling tool, it created that crosshatch pattern. So that's knurling with a lathe. When you knurl, it actually does not remove any material. As you force the rollers into the shaft, it actually raises the material bigger. If I was to take the micrometer now and measure the diameter next to the knurl, and then measure the knurled area is actually larger. When you form those knurls on there, it displaces the material and makes the shaft a little bit bigger. So those are the basic operations of a lathe. Make sure that you take everything apart, clean it up, put it away, move your tailstock back, wipe it down, and re-oil the lathe when you're done.